Hi, I'm Danny from Gen X.
And I'm Jay from Gen Z.
And this is I Dare You to Play. King's Quest V. Graham gets divorced. He dons his adventurer's cap and goes out into the wonderful world of post-divorce.
What?
Yeah. I know it's called Absence Makes the Heart Go Yonder, but at the beginning of the game, some evil wizard shows up, steals his house, steals his wife, steals his kids, and everybody in town pretends like they don't know him. It's just like divorce.
Bro.
Oh, and his only friend is an annoying owl.
Rip.
Hi, gang.
Hi.
Welcome back to episode 3 of I Dare You to Play King's Quest V.
Great.
At the time of this recording, we're in day 1 of quarantine.
Yeah, at the time, so I want to bring out some
This is a self-quarantine at this point. I'm able to work from home finally.
Yeah, because,
the government has not yet issued a forceful shutdown.
Yeah, the government hasn't yet said, oh, well, now you're just not allowed to leave your house.
Just San Francisco and kind of New York and kind of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, not where we live, though, as of this recording.
They did cancel school today.
Like, completely canceled it?
Yeah, well, until at least May 1st, which is like 2 weeks from being over, right?
Oh, yeah, no. Most schools are just like, fuck the entire rest of the semester.
Yeah, they've already canceled graduations, proms.
So, and I want to point out, like, the last time we recorded this was in, like, January, so that bit where I was talking about fucking I hate Corona is really ironic and funny now in the last episode. So I was talking about the planet, but now we have coronavirus, so it's I hate Corona.
And I was talking about the beer.
I was talking about the
Dude, I saw a news story, too, where they're like, oh, 45% of people won't buy Corona beer now because of the coronavirus. And I'm like...
Yeah, I know.
First of all, that's sad and frightening that people are that stupid. But secondly, I think I commented on that news story, too. I was like, well, ironically, 48% of people wouldn't drink it before the virus. They picked up 3% there. Oh, I've heard of Corona now. I'll try one. You know, the Epsteins of the world are like, I'll take a 6-pack, please. So suicidal. Oh, that's right, he did commit suicide. Ha! Yeah, I still worked in an Epstein joke.
Because those are still relevant, actually.
It'll be relevant until we find his killers.
Any fucking way.
I'm pretty sure my ex-wife has information that will lead to the arrest of Hillary Clinton, just so you know. Not Jay's mom.
Really wouldn't be surprised. Monica, we're talking about Monica.
Graham gives
Either
the
of the
wand.
other two have that information. I think they shared it amongst themselves.
Graham gives
Motherfucking...
Are you trying to wand the frog?
Yeah.
Graham gives the
Okay. Hold on, see if I can do it right. Okay.
Racist.
I don't know, I kind of bent my wrist in a gay way.
Thank goodness, but I didn't know if I'd ever see you again.
This is the new thing for gay, by the way, ever since
the 70s? Yeah, I know.
Okay, but listen. It's like... It's become a meme ever since.
Ever since memes?
Not really, but alright.
I mean, when has that not been a gay thing?
I mean, it became a meme. It was always a gay thing, but it became like an actual, like, meme.
Okay.
Like with the SpongeBob screenshot. Have you seen that one?
I guess not.
Like the SpongeBob and he's got his arm like this. I don't know.
Sure. Oh, Patrick. You know, whatever, right?
I don't know what the fuck it is specifically.
Yeah, when we last left off, which was like 2 months ago at this point.
Yeah, I really don't know what the fuck is going on right now.
You were completely fucking lost.
Yeah, I
You're
still
like,
am.
I don't know
so
what to do.
nothing's changed.
What do you have in your inventory at this point?
Fucking nothing. A pie and a wand.
I mean, I think I've seen that movie. There was like a whole series of movies about that. He stuck his wand in the hot pie.
Nope, I don't know that one.
American Pie? The whole point of that movie was the guy stuck his dick in a pie.
To see Madamushka.
Anyway.
Ooh, there's nothing but a hot, dry desert for the west.
So, let's be honest about something. You've not really explored the desert.
No, I haven't, because I fucking died when I tried
Well,
to.
you died like once, right?
Well, there you
Yeah.
Don't worry about me, Cedric. I'm
Yeah.
On the plus side, Cedric does not follow you into the desert.
That is the truth. And I have thought about that a lot.
I mean, because you've kind of tapped out. Or you still got the bee problem over here, huh?
Yeah.
I just remembered something.
What?
I can't tell you. That'd be a spoiler.
Oh, okay, well, fucking
Graham can see an unbreakable padlock on the barn door.
An unbreakable padlock!
unbreakable.
Did you find the needle in the haystack? I'm just going to assume there is one. Like,
Graham watches with surprise as a contingent of ants marches into the haystack and begins to swarm through it.
wait,
Why?
what? Because you helped them.
Yeah, but I don't...
So they're going to search the hay for you.
Sounds like a, fucking...
Like Munchkin song?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, something from... I guess it is.
From Wizard of Oz?
Yeah.
I'm glad to see there was a way that we could be of help to you. Look here. We found a golden needle in the haystack.
It's a golden needle.
I'd like to present it to you. Perhaps you can find a use for it.
Why, thank you, King Antony. I'm honored.
Good luck in your travels, King Graham. And be careful.
You know, generations later, King Antony's great-great-great-great-great-grandson would serve as a mount for Ant-Man in the movie Ant-Man.
Okay. Alright.
And he would give his life in service of the greater good.
This is a large golden needle.
I mean, that's a thing. Cool.
Great.
I mean, a fucking haystack, there has to be a needle, and sure shit there was. Clearly you couldn't find it, though, until after you'd helped the ants, right? Okay. Well, that's a thing.
Oh, also...
Progress was made.
Yeah, on accident.
That's-
That's usually how it
that's-
goes.
That's how progress is made.
Yeah.
Never stop trying, kids, because progress is made on accident.
The side door is locked.
Oh, well, fuck off then.
Isn't this where you bought the pie?
Can I go down here?
I don't think Graham can
No,
swim
Graham,
again.
don't.
Despite everything you learned from King's Quest 1, 2,
Too bad.
3,
Graham's
he
swimming
like
skills were
4,
dramatic.
he never
Like-
learned to swim.
Okay.
Rip. Hey, thanks for that late warning there, Cedric.
Yeah, I've noticed that's like his theme.
Oh, you tripped on a
apparently.
rock and you're falling into the river. No, don't do that.
Yeah. Thanks, Cedric.
Yeah.
Really fucking appreciate that.
You're awesome, dude.
He's doing his best, but sadly, it is nowhere near enough.
Oh, I should also mention Jay's last day of school was sometime in December, and he does not have a job, and he's not going to school, and he's literally doing nothing.
I'm surprised you haven't complained about that on this already, because we last recorded in January.
We last recorded in January, and I believe I was already mentioning that you needed to get a job, but now I'm kind of really pissed off about it. But then you started an entire global plague, so you can be like, well, I can't really get a job right now. I was going to throw the whole world into a depression so that I could sit on the couch and
Listen,
do nothing.
I've been saying it's going to happen for years.
The depression?
And no one believed me. The world is going to end. I keep saying it. I'm like, I'm going to live to see the end of the world. It's going to happen.
Listen.
And I'm going to die young because the world is going to end before I get old.
Here's my point.
Here it is. I was right.
Here's my point, if I can get over the music, is that our fans should be demanding you live stream shit on the Twitch now, because you're not doing a fucking thing else. You can totally get on there and play some Pokemon, or you can get on there and play Colonel's Bequest. We need to get on there and play King's Quest 2 if I ever have time. I mean, that's really the problem there. But, I mean, at least stream or something for the fans. You can message us on our YouTube channel or on our Facebook page. And be
fans, as in the 3 people who watch these?
Whatever. Hashtag, I want to see Jay play.
The cart is too heavy for Graham to move by himself.
I mean, I've been so busy, I haven't even been able to stream in a month and a half. It's been a minute. I need to log in and finish my lighthouse, because Lori's about to archive that whole server. Because there's a new version of Minecraft that has bees and shit, and they're going to upgrade.
Oh, yeah.
But it's the kind of change that's big enough that it'll break the shit you built already.
Yes.
So yeah, she's about to archive that server, and I really need to get in there and finish the lighthouse, because what she does is, when she archives it, they become downloadable. People can download them and play in the worlds that have been built, so that's fun. So my Riddler resort will live on, apparently, and people can just log in and play there.
Someone made this giant server for people who are in quarantine and stuff, for people who are doing the self-isolation or whatever.
Right. So I was actually talking to one of our local government officials about using Discord, which is a gamer thing, because they've tried to use what was it, Microsoft Teams or whatever. They tried another one. You're gonna stab him with the needle?
That won't convince the snake to leave.
Damn. I might as well try it.
So they were they're all overloaded and they're not working well because so many people are working from home now. And I'm like, fucking Discord was made by gamers for gamers. And it's right? It's very scalable, and it's meant for okay, there's gonna be a raiding party of 300 people in this one chat, right? I was actually talking to him a little bit, because in our little town, they started live streaming the meetings about, a year and a half, 2 years ago now?
Yeah.
And so there's some concern, our governor did pass a thing saying that they could have, and so they didn't all have to be in the same room. They, I forgot about this guy. So they can have, electronic meetings, but that's hard to stream on a conference call, right?
Right.
So I was trying to tell him, I was if you do a
sir.
video chat through Discord,
I'm
you can stream
sorry
it
to bother
the
you.
same way we
I
stream.
was just
stream our
noticing your
stuff.
son's marionette. It's very interesting. Where did you get it?
It's grandson, not son, and I made it for him. Why do you care?
I just wanted to comment on its artistry. It's very well done. I don't suppose it could be bought.
If it could, the price would be very steep. I reckon you couldn't afford it. Now, leave me and my grandson be. I don't take charity, young man. I got everything I need.
Okay.
A golden needle. Did you go in the inn yet? Are they looking for a golden? Did they lose one or something? I mean, it is kind of like right here, right?
Actually, I think I died last time I went in here.
Why?
Because they were like...
Oh, I'll wait for you out here.
Yeah, these guys.
Right. Bunch of assholes, got it.
Pretty much.
Oh yeah, when we edited the last episode, you were commenting that this is not Daventry because they teleport us somewhere else.
Yeah, well...
And I think we did make some
I don't
comments about,
think
like,
it's
fucking Daventry. I don't think it is either.
I mean, the divorce thing still works, but...
Of course it does. He's now in a foreign
But I
land
don't-
where
I don't-
nobody knows his name.
that
Like,
is
it's
true.
actually worse. Well, maybe not worse. Because now his friends aren't pretending to not know him.
That is true. Because legitimately no one knows him. Which is weird, because you think that even in other kingdoms they'd know about, like, kings of other... Like, you know what I mean?
I don't know, who's the king of Saudi Arabia?
Fuck if I know.
Who's the queen of England?
Okay, I know her, but I don't...
See, thank you for illustrating that point perfectly.
Like, okay, but, like, if I saw her, I'm pretty sure I would recognize her. I just don't know her name. You know what I mean?
I'm pretty sure it's Elizabeth. 'Cause she's been
Yeah, it is Elizabeth.
She's been a queen for like 100
You again,
years
is
or
it?
something.
Listen,
Wait, do
what if I give it to them?
The weary old woman has no interest in it. The shoemaker isn't even paying any attention to Graham.
Okay, well, I fucking made an attempt to do things, and it didn't work, so...
Rip. Is there a... What's in the card again?
Yeah, I know, I was already walking
Mama,
over there. What are you looking at?
Papa, Mama wants...
Is there something in the alley that we missed?
No, I tried to walk in there, and it didn't fucking
Well,
let me.
I mean, like, but what is
A
there?
broken wagon blocks. The town is busy with people going about their day. A broken wagon blocks access to a smaller side street.
I mean, what is the other brown thing? Are those crates or something?
I don't know.
A broken wagon blocks access
I mean,
to a
you're
smaller
clicking on the
side
right-hand side of the alley. What's the brown thing on the...
Graham notices an old wooden barrel on the street corner.
Barrel. Take it.
Inside the barrel, Graham sees an old rotting fish.
Okay, take that.
Apparently,
Graham
yeah.
leans way down into the barrel and removes huge, smelly old fish.
Why?
Phew! This smelly old fish is disgusting.
Okay. Cool.
Something fishy. Progress was made!
For what, though?
I don't know, this is more progress that I make instead of those fucking Pokemon episodes.
That is true.
Because, fuck that game. Is that game ever going to fucking end?
Maybe someday.
Jesus Christ!
I don't know why it's taking me so long.
What?
I'm pretty sure it didn't take me that long to finish a Pokemon game when I was 5, so...
What?
Yeah, I really don't...
I mean, I'm going as fast as I can. I'm not even slow. I don't...
I'm pretty sure the longest it's ever taken me to finish a Pokemon game is like maybe a month.
Okay, but how many hours a day?
Well,
Because, I mean, 30 episodes is essentially like 30 times 45. It's not even a full hour.
that's true. And
Right.
it was... that's... Oh, what the fuck?
Ooh, watch out for the bear, Graham.
Watch out for the bear, Brad!
A large bear seems to be very interested in the honey inside the old tree.
So wait, I'm assuming this is what the fish is for?
Maybe, because the bear's there after you got the fish, right? Flop.
I am Queen Beatrice, kind sir. I wish to thank you ever so much for saving our hive from the claws of that horrible bear. In return, I offer you a luscious honeycomb from our hive. Please feel free to retrieve one. I promise my bees won't harm you. It may come in handy on your travels.
I mean, for a bee queen, she's kind of hot.
Isn't that just the plot of the Bee Movie?
Isn't it what?
The plot of the Bee Movie.
Graham reaches a
don't
hand
know.
into the
The plot of
beehive
the Bee
and
Movie
retrieves
is
a
literally
very
just
sticky
like
chunk
this,
of honeycomb.
the love story between a
Wrapping
woman
it in
and
a
bee.
protective piece of
And it's
cloth,
really weird,
he then
and I'm
pockets
pretty sure
it.
the people who made it were on acid the entire time.
I've never seen it. I have no desire to see it.
I don't know why I ever watched it, but I ended up watching it at one point in my life, and
I think literally the only thing I know about it is that Seinfeld is in it.
I don't know. The Bee Movie is just fucking weird.
Cool. Well, you got honeycomb now.
Honey drips at the edges of the honeycomb chunk.
Great. Okay.
Which, I mean, I do have an ex-wife story about honeycomb.
You know, I'm really not surprised because you have an ex-wife story about everything.
I mean, I think I've told you this one before, right? Like, we go to the store. We're on like a shoestring budget, right? Like, we can only buy the things that we're there to buy at that time, right?
Okay.
And I just get like a sudden craving where I'm just like, hey,
Don't worry about me, Cedric.
I really want some honeycomb cereal,
Yeah, okay, yeah, that cereal is really fucking good, though.
right? And I'm just like, you know what? I will not eat dinner one night to like fucking so I can have some honeycomb this month, right?
Yeah.
And so we fight it. We don't fight about it, but it's like a big discussion going through the store, right? Like, come on,
Right,
man.
like, do we really need it?
Yeah, the whole thing, right? I'm just like, man, I really do want it though. Like, and I don't work hard. I was the only one. I was the breadwinner, right? Like, I was working hard. I'm just like, I really just kind of want this one little treat, just for myself, right? So I finally went out, right? It's like, okay, fine, let's get it, right? We put back something else, right? And so I get up the next morning, like my alarm goes off, and I like pop out of bed, which I never do, by the way. I am not a morning person at all.
1,500 fucking
Yeah, I gotta hit the alarm like 7 times. I gotta get up and like dunk my face in ice water and everything. And that's just so I can be like awake enough to drive to work. Where I will wake up like an hour after arrival.
Oh, man.
So I get up like excited. I can't wait to get me some honeycomb. Like back in that day too, there was like the commercials was like this little honeycomb monster. And he was always just like, me want honeycomb, right? Like, so I woke up thinking like, me want honeycomb. Like that's just where I was, right? So I run into the kitchen. Like I don't run. I go to the bathroom. I go into the kitchen. But I'm excited, right? I'm excited. I'm like rubbing my hands. I was excited. You can keep playing. So
And it's gone.
no. So I walk in there. And my wife's eating a bowl. Fine, no problem, right?
Right.
The 1-year-old baby has a bowl of honeycomb and is throwing it on the floor and giggling while the dog eats it. Now remember, we had like at least a 30-minute conversation about how we can't really afford it. But we're gonna give it to the fucking dog now, apparently. So I just make the comment, I'm like, so we can't afford it, and it involved like a 30-minute conversation
Yeah.
to get this honeycomb, and now we're gonna let the kid throw it on the floor for the dog? Well, I can't believe you just hate your daughter this much, and she can't have honeycomb. And it's like,
man.
I'm talking about the wastefulness here of like, you know, it's like we're on such a tight budget, we couldn't buy a box of fucking honeycomb, and now you're like, fuck, who cares if the dog is eating it? And this bitch, and I say this bitch with all due disrespect,
All due disrespect.
goes, whatever, you're the one who said we couldn't get it. I'm the one who wanted it. I can do with it whatever I want.
I mean...
Like, flip the entire fucking script. Like, no. All those things you said, I actually said those. And everything I said, you actually said. Like, fucking full-blown gaslighting. I was ready to throw the fucking gallon of milk at this bitch's head. I was like, what the fuck? That is not what happened. I rolled out of bed this morning, waiting for this fucking... I know what happened, lady.
Oh, man.
So then, I just got more and more angry over it. And, here it is. Here it is 25 years later, and I can still tell the story.
I'm trying
That
everything.
won't convince the snake.
Okay, great. I didn't think so, but I wanted to fucking try it just in case it would do something because these games are fucking weird.
Well, whatever you do, don't give it to the fucking dog.
Why the fuck would you give that cereal to the dog, though?
I don't know.
Like, even if I could afford it, I would not give that specific cereal. Like, I could understand, like, fucking Cheerios.
We had Cheerios for the kid, man. That was in the budget.
Wait.
We had Cheerios for the child. Because little, 1-year-old Cheerios, right? Like, and they smack their hand in it, and fucking cereal goes everywhere. I mean, kids, right? Toddlers. That's what toddlers do. No. Fucking kid gets the good cereal we couldn't afford, so they can still smash their fucking hand in it, throw it all over the place, fucking wreck a whole bowl.
I'm fucking confused right now.
I mean, apparently I'm the dick, though, because...
I don't know.
Because fuck me, I guess.
Because you asked about it? Like...
And I was just like the gall of bringing up the fact that it's being wasted after we couldn't afford it. There was like this whole thing about budgeting and what to put back on the shelf, right? Like, well, can we put this back on the shelf and get it? What about this, right? Like, no.
Oh man.
Nope. Fucking Honeycomb.
That is such a good cereal, though.
And every once in a while, I mean, you'll notice, right? Like, about twice a year, I will just buy, like, a giant fucking box of Honeycomb, and it'll be gone in, like, 3 days. Like, I legit get a craving, where I'm just like, fucking, I want Honeycomb. And I will just buy, like, a giant fucking box of Honeycomb, and I will just, like, eat it all in, like, 3 days. So, I mean, like, it's also, like, a hardcore thing, right? It's like, oh, I just need to do a little Coke this weekend. And she's like, nah, I'm gonna give it to the kid and the dog. Like... Why the fuck are you giving the kid and the dog cocaine? It's my cocaine. I'll do with it whatever I want. Like, no, it's my. I'm the one with the coke habit. No, you're not. What? See, when you substitute out Honeycomb for cocaine, it sounds even better.
Yeah.
Which Honeycomb is kind of cocaine. It's like it's sugary, fucking all artificial fucking flavors and colors and. I mean, go exploring in places you haven't been yet, maybe.
There's nowhere that unless I can cross the desert without fucking dying. Which I probably can't, but... So I know if I go in there, I'll die.
You'll get towed?
Yeah. I don't like it.
I mean, I can't stand the social distancing anymore.
I definitely can.
I can too, actually. I'm just making fun of it.
Very ready.
It cracks me up every time too on the
Get
out of
internet.
here.
When I keep seeing like introverts, check on your extrovert friends. They're not okay. And like on any other day, it's the opposite, right? Like, oh, extroverts, check on your introverted friends. Now it's the opposite. Introverts who are just fucking loving all of this.
Yeah, because they get to fucking stay home.
Like, cool, I can stay home and do nothing, like, and not talk to anybody ever.
And there's a perfectly valid excuse for it. Like,
right.
Oh, well, I don't want to catch this virus and fucking die.
Right. I'm doing my civic duty, blurga blurga.
Right.
And now it's like, you check on your extrovert friends, because they are not okay.
They're not okay right now.
I have an extrovert friend who literally texted me the other day. It was like, I can't do this. Like, I need the peoples, and I'm like,
man.
why?
I can't understand that at all.
Why would you need people? People are terrible.
I really can't. Like, I'm upset that I probably won't be able to see my friends for a long time. But as someone who has been through online schooling, it's really not much new. Like, it's nothing new to me. Like, I'm used to just, like, hanging out at home all day. So.
Yeah, you've been doing nothing for like 4 months. Like,
I
you've
know.
been preparing for this for quite some time, apparently.
Well, you know, maybe I'm part of the government conspiracy of creating the coronavirus. Just so I can stay at home. Because I would fucking do that.
Oh my god. So,
What?
my friends have dark humor. It's at least as dark as
Wow.
mine sometimes. I know. So, shouldn't we wait till after the pandemic to fill out our census forms?
Fuck.
Like, I mean, if we're going to do an accurate count...
You know, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. That's a valid point.
I mean, they're currently... I need to talk to your mom about that, too. Which one of us picks you as your census? Like, do you live here? Do you live there? I don't know. Can I put 0.5? There are 1.5 people living here. Yeah, you're only half a person. And Jay has 0 arguments. It's just like, yeah, I know.
No, yeah, no, really.
I've felt that for a long time now.
Yeah. Fucking.
I'm half the
The hot-
man I used to be.
Okay, he's getting ready to fucking die. I don't know what to do.
I guess dying. And then pick a different screen and walk left, right? Like, I don't know.
What's over here?
But now
The
you'll
hot
never
sun
know
and
what
choking
was to the
sands are
left
taking
over
their
there.
toll.
Yeah, well.
Well,
If I can
you
make
probably
it.
can only go so many screens before you die, right?
Oh.
That's what I mean. So you wasted a screen now going down and back
Wait,
up.
this is exactly the same goddamn screen.
Too late. Graham collapses and dies of extreme thirst in the hot desert sun. If only he could have found an oasis. Dying for a drink,
Only
Graham?
you could have found an oasis.
Okay, well, fucking. This is.
Don't worry.
Somehow walking back into the green area just quenches your thirst. Like, oh, look, I'm not in the desert anymore. I'm fine.
I know, right? Like, I don't understand how that works, but. Hey, shut the
Oh no! You got the depression in the desert. Oh no! Thanks, Dr. Bill. I wonder what this noise sounds like to everybody else. I have tinnitus, so... And it sounds like the tone keeps changing.
Yeah,
And I wonder if there's a tone I can't hear that's like in there also.
possibly.
Because it's right in that range, right? Which reminds me, when this is
It
over...
just sounds really annoying, is what it sounds like.
Yeah, when this is over, there is a place that makes hearing aids that fixes tinnitus, I heard.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Yeah, I was very excited about that.
They're making a lot of cool shit like that. Like, they got glasses now for colorblind people, so they can just see color.
Yeah! For like the...
Like-
yeah. It changes the spectrum or something so they can actually see it.
Yeah.
I would be excited, though. It's been, I don't know, 30 years since I didn't hear this noise.
Yeah, well, you know.
So
Shouldn't have popped so many fireworks right next to your goddamn head.
well, you know, I'm not going to say it wasn't worth it.
The hot sun and choking sands are taking their toll on Graham. He must drink, and soon.
Hot sun, choking sand. That's not actually a song. I just made that up. Taking its toll on King Graham.
I'm surprised that isn't some kind of fucking song
Yeah, I'm
reference.
just making it right now. You did make one earlier, though.
You violence did, like always.
Too late. Graham collapses and dies of extreme thirst in the hot desert sun.
Rip.
If only he could have found an oasis.
Great.
Dying for a drink, Graham?
Dying for a drink, Graham?
I love how he's so fucking proud of the punchline.
Don't worry.
Who isn't? Honestly.
So, is there really, like, no fucking... like, actual way to navigate this without dying, or is there just an item that I haven't found yet?
I have no idea. I'm just saying it's like the one thing we've not done yet. And it would be kind of a dick move for them to be like, look, desert maze! Right? Like... Ta-da!
Small oasis. It's tantalizing water, so sparkling in the desert sun. Graham's hot, thirsty body is irresistibly drawn to it.
Now here's the fucked up part. Where do you go from here? Do you go up? Do you go down? Do you go left? Is it some sort of fucking zigzag? Who knows?
Ah, life-giving water, nectar of the gods. Graham can now feel strength and renewal flowing through him.
I mean, you better fucking save it, because now what, right?
Hang on.
So I read Ready Player One a couple months ago, too. So the Oasis means something completely different to me now.
Now, technically, I've already gone that way, because I went, like, all the...
Well, I mean, this is pretty close, right? It was taking its toll. So if you go up like 2 screens to the mountain, then that'll be like where you left off.
Yeah, true.
So I mean, however you would, I would recommend some sort of systematic exploration,
Hang on.
right?
I'm gonna go this way first.
So just straight left first,
Yeah, even
Okay.
I mean, I know it probably doesn't lead anywhere.
but you could cross that off, right? And then you can go like up
Right.
1 and left, and then down 1 and left, right? Like, or is it down, like you go down a bunch?
Right. Yeah, that's probably what I'm gonna try next.
I don't
Go
know.
Down a bunch.
I
don't know either. That's why I'm gonna fucking try everything.
Yeah, it. Like I said again, as long as it's
It's
systematic.
just gonna be trial and error, you guys.
We should have wrote it down. How many scarines was it from where you were to the Oasis? Like, maybe we need to map it?
Oh man, I really.
Because you're going to have to get back, right? Probably.
Oh, wait.
Okay, you keep walking. I'm going to find some paper. Ow.
The hot
Oh, God, I'm so
Okay, he's about to die.
old. Oh.
Or just stop being old.
Oh. Well, isn't that what the coronavirus is for? Just stop being
It's
old.
only 60% of people who are dying.
Listen, you young little bastard!
I think Gen Z, has Gen Z even been affected by the coronavirus yet? Like, in an actual, like, serious way?
I don't know. I'm gonna fucking cut you though. Will that be an effect?
Too late. Graham collapses and dies of extreme thirst in the hot desert sun. If only he could have found an oasis.
Great, I don't
Dying
fucking
for a
care!
drink.
God. Alright, I'm going this way
Sorry, I got distracted by old D&D notes.
now. Oh man. From what year?
I don't know. I never put years on these things, but here's like clues and spot checks and an encounter table that I made. Rats! Spiders! Like with exclamation
Oh
points.
my god.
There's a Dark Knight. You guys fought? Seems like it was one of my kid adventures, so.
The hot
Okay, he's about to die again.
It was dated a little bit because Diane wrote on one of the pages, so it was somewhere in there.
So it was, yeah, so it wasn't super, super long ago, but it was kind of a long time ago.
I need a writing utensil. There's some over to your left.
It was at least like 3 or 4 years ago.
Lower.
You know, I know what you mean when you say writing utensil. I can.
So how many screens was it,
English.
and where did you leap from? Was it the anthill screen or the honeybee screen?
It's the honeybee
Too
screen.
late. Graham
how many
collapses and
screens
dies
over
of
was it?
extreme
I don't
thirst in the hot desert sun.
However many it-
If only he could have found an
Okay, I'm gonna
oasis.
start like
Dying for a drink, Graham?
and it was I don't, five or six or something.
I think 6 sounds right, actually.
I'm gonna put 6-ish.
Alright, I'm gonna go up now.
Oasis. So we're going up one and then left.
Yep.
Recording the screen because I didn't.
Oh, no.
Balls.
The hot sun and choking sands are
It
taking their
doesn't look
toll
like
on
this is
Graham.
gonna do anything
He must
anyway,
drink.
so...
And soon,
Well, last time it said that he found an oasis, right? Like that's how far the oasis was into the thing.
Yeah, he's gonna die.
too late. Graham collapses and dies of extreme thirst in the hot desert sun. If only he could have found an oasis. Dying for a drink.
All right, so we're gonna continue to go up then.
Yes, I'm gonna go 2 up. And then
So there is something like this kind of in Quest for Glory.
left. I knew you were gonna say that.
That's why I was like, maybe there's like a maze in Quest in the desert somewhere. Although I don't think you die, because in Quest for Glory you can just buy a water skin and take it with you. So you're 2 down from the cliffs.
Okay. I'm gonna actually count this time.
3. 4. 5. Okay. So up 2, over 5.
The facade of a magnificent temple has been carved into the rocky cliffs
And then we
by
have
an
a temple.
unknown ancient civilization.
The other question you gotta ask yourself is this the only thing you're out here to find? Or is there more?
I know,
right?
right?
Like
Temple. And there's more water here. I'm assuming I can drink it. I don't know, but that's why I saved first.
it's acid, it'll eat your head off.
I
Oh
know,
wait, that's
right?
Space Quest.
Ah, life-giving water, nectar of the gods. Graham can now feel strength and renewal flowing through him. From across the desert sands, Graham can hear the sound of approaching hoofbeats.
Oh wait, what
What?
is that?
A spy! Get him!
Rip.
Never trust a bad guy, Graham.
You were just a bad guy, Graham.
Okay.
Ah, life-giving from across the desert.
Should you hide though? Hold on. Should you hide behind the rock and see if they stop and say something?
I don't know. That's why I
You know what I mean?
fucking saved.
Yeah. Desert Bandito.
Ah, from across the desert.
Does it actually count as hiding?
Oh, I heard dings. You got points for that.
Open sesame.
Okay, that was pretty useful.
Yup.
I feel like that was important. Otherwise, we would have spent like the whole next episode trying to figure out what to do with the temple.
Yeah. Open sesame. Ha ha ha. It's like a...
Speaking of, that concludes this episode of I Dare You to Play King's Quest V.
Okay.
Tune in and
Hey, well, I actually fucking did shit.
tune in a couple of weeks when we play the next one. Unless we decide to up our... I know we cut back to like one episode a week.
Yeah, we might go back to 2 if
During the crisis, I don't know. Like, I don't...
Even though I said, our viewers are probably already crying about enough. They don't have to sit through this shit, too. But,
Entertainment's entertainment. I mean, we'll, if we have the time, because that's the thing, like, my schedule did get cleared up a bit with the no social gatherings.
Right.
But I do still have to work.
More than 10 people in one place now.
I do still have to work, but,
illegal.
that doesn't mean, like, if we're trapped in the house together, we can't work on projects and shit, we can't go to Lowe's, right? So, we may be able to record some more episodes, and if we could do that and bank a lot, then maybe we'll release some
I'm kind of wondering
extras.
how many of these stores are going to survive through this, and how many of them are just going to have to shut down permanently.
And there's
Like,
an
that's already
enormous
happening
there's an
so
enormous
many.
number of people who've already been fired or laid off.
Yeah, because like
And,
they can't.
So many like mom and pop small businesses have already said like
Yeah.
we're
Man,
not
I
going
want
to be
Ralph
able.
and Ava's to close down. They're pretty lit.
I am legit worried about them. Like I thought about
What the fuck? There's
tomorrow.
like this cool little
Tomorrow's
restaurant
Friday,
thing.
and I plan on ordering takeout from them because I do like them. And you know what? Let's talk about that for a second, real quick. If you can help your friends, your neighbors, your local businesses, if there's anything you can do, take care of yourself and your family first. And then if you can help your friends and neighbors, I mean, that's the right thing to do.
Right.
Like I tell Jay all the time, you don't have to change the whole world, you just have to change your world. If you can make your world a little bit of a better place, and we all try to do that, then the world just becomes a better place. So
Right.
do your part to make your world a little bit a better place. I anticipate the government's going to do some dumb shit in the coming weeks.
Right. No
pe-
matter what country.
There's going to
you're
be
in.
some asshole people do some dumb shit in the coming weeks. Don't be one of them.
Yeah.
And do what you can to help your friends,
Please
neighbors,
don't.
family.
Please don't use the purge as an example of what to do. Just stay home.
But I mean, maybe. It depends on who your neighbor is,
Listen.
I guess. Like, if your neighbor's a child molesting son of a bitch, I mean,
Okay.
nobody's going to
That
find...
is a special exception.
Nobody's going to find him for a few weeks. I'm not advocating you do that. Wink, wink.
We're not advocating murder. It's just I don't know, just stay home, man.
We have a disclaimer on this channel.
We do have a disclaimer.
You can't sue us. We don't have anything.
We're not pro murder.
The coolest thing we have is that don't panic towel,
We're
and you'll
not-
never get it.
We're not pro murder, we're pro population control.
It's a good spin. You're gonna make a great politician one day.
You know?
You're gonna be the first trans president or something.
Oh god. I really don't want to be. Not of this fucking country.
What would they call you? It wouldn't be Mr. President. It probably wouldn't be Madam President.
Mix.
What would you go by?
Mix.
Mixed President? Like, that doesn't sound right.
MX. Dot. Mix.
No, but when
It's like
people...
the gender neutral term.
Yeah, okay, but out of term of respect, the Secret Service is always like Mr. President, or even on TV, like Madam President, Madam Secretary, Mr. right?
It's just Mr., I guess.
Okay, because you do actually identify as male, right? So Mr.
Well,
would be
I
fine.
identify as non-binary. However, like the male honorific like terms are totally cool with me. I
Okay,
like
but my
those.
question
Like
is,
if someone
as the first trans president, do you have to go with some sort of gender neutral? Like, do you have to make the point?
I probably would just because
That's
I'm
my
I'm
point.
non-binary. I would probably really push for that. Like, yeah, gender neutral.
So
terms.
how would you be addressed though? What is the honorary term for non-binary?
I just said it's mixed.
That sounds so weird. Mixed president, mixed secretary.
Or
Like,
you could just say president.
I mean, you could, but I mean, like, it's just gonna be weird for people.
It's always gonna be weird.
I
for
mean,
people.
what is the they, them, Mr., Mrs.? It's
It's mix.
It's mix.
How do you not know this?
It's never come up. You've never told me. You are the source of all my information for the most part.
That's true. You kind
It's
of are.
never
I mean,
come
I
up,
kind of am for you.
And I feel like you guys need to revisit that. Like, you should bring
well,
that
I
up.
feel like there's other ones, but
You
mix
should
is the
bring
most
that up at the
popular
next
one.
like gay trans meeting and just be like, guys, mix sounds terrible when it's like mixed secretary. That sounds like a racial mix. It sounds racist. Oh, mixed secretary? You can't say non-binary secretary either. That sounds weird.
I don't know.
If you bring that up at the next meeting, you get back with us, let us know what you guys come
See,
up with.
usually from our point of view, it's just like, Christ, why not just say their name?
Say my name, say my name.
Like,
Anyway.
I don't understand why you gotta... That's our whole thing, is like, why even have the term to begin with if it's gonna be gendered in any way, shape, or form? Just say the title. President. Hello.
It might help to have a gender-neutral prefix, though. And if you start getting people normalized to it now, and if it sounded cool enough, right? Like, we could just start transitioning to that when we don't know.
That's true.
Right? Just instead of saying, like, oh, Mr. or Miss, because that is a term of respect. That's how us Southern folks were fucking raised, right? That, like, if you don't know somebody and they seem to be an elder, you know, or they're in a position of power, then you're supposed to show your respect by saying Mr. or Miss.
Right, yeah.
And so it is hard for us to be like, well, now I feel like I'm disrespecting you by not saying it.
Right.
But then if I say it wrong, I'm also disrespecting you.
It is very fucking weird.
And mixed sounds weird if you're not trans, right? Like,
yeah.
Like if I went up to a regular dude, but you know, or a chick that like I just couldn't tell if they were trans, and I just went mixed, you know, whatever. They're like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like that sounds super weird, right?
Yeah.
You gotta come up with something better. I'm just telling
I
you.
don't know.
I mean, because I still do that around the house. Just for
I feel
those
like
of you
we
who
should
don't
look
know.
it up now after this.
This
episode, we're gonna look it up.
I used to say that around the house even to the kids all the time, like yes ma'am, yes sir, right? Like, and it did take me some time to transition over to the yes sir with Jay.
Yeah, because you used to say like yes'm.
Yes'm, right? Yeah. And I remember when I finally started to get the hang of it, you started to notice, and you were like, "Oh, hey, that sounds pretty cool, right?"
Oh, thanks.
But my point is, there isn't really a good gender neutral version of that.
No, there really isn't, because we haven't really come up with the time. We haven't really put in too much effort, because most people don't care.
Well, I think people are learning, and again, if it's an easy transition, if it sounds like Mr. or Ma'am or something like that, right? Like if it's in that same
I guess.
vocal range that it's easy for people to say it.
Like there's a bunch of like fucking.
I mean, you're familiar with
royalty terms too that people are debating.
You remember the Saturday
There's
Night Live thing
like,
about Pat, right? Like it's Pat, and they could never figure out if they were male or female.
Yeah.
Like
you've got like we've got like Prinks with like an X, or we've got Princeton or Prince X, or like there's a bunch of fucking
pricks. You're all just pricks.
Pricks. Honestly, love that for us.
I mean, you do because you want one. If somebody was MTF, they may not appreciate it very much. The fuck did you call me? I don't have a prick. Oh no! Thanks, Cedric. All right, bye. I'm glad we could have that offensive conversation. We had to get we had to shoehorn in a little offensiveness right at the end.
We really did. We really do that always right at the end, and I always
Sometimes.
try to end the episode. But then we end up talking about gay race wars for the next 15 fucking minutes.
Okay.
So. Okay, bye.
Okay,
Fucking
bye.
See ya.
See ya.